Just make sure that you click on the little prompt. And awesome. Whenever you're ready, I put the playlist on the chat box if you want to listen to any music. There's not many props that we need today, but as usual, have everything and anything that you like to play with around. I love me a good blog. I love me, I don't know, the squishy ball. I don't know why, but it's always a good idea. I don't know. And whenever you're ready, just go ahead and lay down on your mat, on your back. And yeah, click play on your music if you wanted to listen to the playlist and lay down. Arrive into your body and take any kind of shapes that you want on the floor. Even though we say, like yoga teachers, we usually say lay on your back or whatever. If you don't feel like laying on your back today, you can always be on your side or with your knees bent or stretch. Always trying to be very mindful of what our body wants from us today, and not only wants but needs. If it's available to you, I encourage you to close your eyes for however long you can practice. Listen to your heartbeat, listen to your breath. Take one big inhale, that's all yours. And let it go on an exhale. Reach your arms overhead and give yourself a nice stretch. With every inhale you take, you fill your body with air and oxygen and energy. And with every exhale, you let all that go. A couple more times like this, add your own timing. My tia used to say that with every exhale, we'd let go of all the bad juju. And whenever you're ready, bring your feet on the ground, hip width distance apart, and just start to rock your hips gently, anterior and posteriorly. On an inhale, arch your back a lot and let your hips rock. And on your exhale, imprint your back, tucking your tailbone under, using a lot of your lower abs. Inhale to arch your back. And exhale to tuck your tailbone under. You feeling the whole back, your whole back on the ground. Inhale to arch. Maybe don't use your glutes too much. Exhale to tuck. Use a lot of your lower abs because we may or may not need them for today's peak pose. Inhale to arch and exhale to tuck. Come to a neutral spine and take a big inhale in center. And on your exhale, start to peel your tailbone off the ground, coming up onto a bridge. Once we are in here, do your pelvic tilts again. Inhale to arch your back. Let go of the control of your bum and exhale to squeeze your butt together to come back into a bridge. Inhale to arch, Soften your glutes and exhale to engage your glutes. Inhale to arch and exhale to engage. One last time, inhale to arch. Exhale to engage and stay. We're going to little by little lift both of your heels off the ground and press against the ground. Inhale to lift your heels off. Exhale to press them down. Continue doing this a few more times. Do make sure that your lower abs are engaged so that you're protecting your lower back from arching too much. Try to keep your knees pointing the ceiling and ideally not moving inwards or outwards. Once you had enough, you probably feel it a little bit on your glutes, hamstrings, and lower back. Once you had enough, roll down all the way to the ground. Inhale to reach your right leg up towards the ceiling and cross it on top of your left. Take a nice inhale in here, and on your exhale, start to tuck your chin towards your chest and come up into a seated position. This is a seated thread the needle without the actual threading. The closer you bring your hands up to your back, the taller upright you will be, the more opening on your hip you will feel. Try to lengthen your spine. And once you had enough, just stretch that left leg onto the ground. Inhale to reach up to the ceiling and exhale to bow at your leg. Try to relax the top of your hip that's bent, that the knee is bent, so that your knee can use the gravity on its favor and come down to the ground. Couple more breaths in here. Inhale and exhale, sticking your tailbone out. Inhale and exhale. Come all the way up to your seated position and thread your hands underneath your right calf for a little bit of, this is what's going to be made of a reclined pigeon. Inhale to reach your back, lengthen your back, and on your exhale, tuck your tailbone under and very slowly start to roll all the way down towards the ground. Take your time. Leverage from the strength on your leg. Try not to smack down on the floor until you rest your head on the floor. Find yourself a nice stretch in here. You can rock your knee from side to side. And eventually find your half a happy baby, bringing your right elbow inside of your right knee and grabbing on the outside of your foot for half a happy baby. Once again, try to resist from your opposite side, bringing the opposite hip as flat on the ground as you can. I realize that that's anatomically impossible. And when you're ready, just let go of your leg. Let it slide on the ground and give it a nice little shake. Bring your feet back in. And inhale to reach your left leg up towards the ceiling. And exhale to cross it over. Take your time to tuck your chin into your chest and start to roll up into a seated position. Use your hands, your forearms, anything that you need until you find your seated thread the needle. Do let your knee open wide to the side, relaxing that outer hip. And you don't have to be so close to your body. You can be a little bit farther apart if you need to. Stretch your bottom leg. Sit very tall. Take a nice inhale to reach up towards the ceiling. And on your exhale, bow forward. Do Do make sure that your top foot is not directly on top of your knee, perhaps a little bit higher on your thigh or a little bit lower on your shin. And try to lengthen your spine as much as you can. Imagine there's a diagonal line from the tip of your head, top of your head to the tip of your tailbone. Breathe into those areas that feel tight, whether that's your hip, your lower back, your hamstrings. And when you're ready, come back to your seated position and hook your hands underneath your calf. Hug your shin towards your chest. Inhale to lengthen your spine first. And exhale to start tucking your tailbone under very slowly, one vertebra at a time, rolls down. Flex your right foot a lot, maybe to get some leverage, and roll all the way down until you can rest your head on the ground. Take any movements that you need in here. You can rock your leg from side to side, and you can even try to bring your shin closer to your chest. Shin. I have a very hard time. Find your have a happy baby, but story time. I have a very hard time saying shin and chin, like the one on your leg and the one on your face. It's so hard for me. When you're ready, let go of that leg. Let it go long on the floor. Reach your arms overhead for an inhale. And on your exhale, hug both knees into your chest, tucking your chin under towards your chest, and start rolling like a ball. But now here's the catch. Eventually, we're not going to a tabletop. We're going to a squat position. Try to come up onto your squat a few times, and then just fold over for a passive forward fold. Bend your knees a lot. Relax, let your head dangle. You can hook your big toes with your peace fingers and your thumb, or you can step on top of your hands. Couple breaths in here. Decompress your spine. And once you are ready to continue, tuck your tailbone down and start to roll up as slowly as you can. Into Tadasana, mountain pose. I hope everyone has a wonderful practice. If you're not at the top of your mat, step at the top of your mat and have fun today. Inhale, reach up towards the ceiling and come onto your tippy toes. And on your exhale, come down on the ground, hinge at your hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to put your hands down, step into your plank. A full inhale in here. And on your exhale, tap your knees down. 3 cats and cows. Inhale to look up. Exhale to tuck your chin under and look down. Inhale to look up. Melting your spine, give them that plasticity. Exhale to look down. Last time, take it at your own pace. And once you get into your cow, press against the ground, pike at your hips and find your downward facing dog. Look to the front of your mat, come onto your tippy toes, bend at your knees and hop, step or walk to the top of your mat. Roll all the way to standing. Inhale to reach your arms up, come onto your tippy toes. Exhale to come down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to lower and stepping into your plank. A full inhale in here. Option to tap your knees or don't, and lower yourself all the way down to the ground. Bring your hands on the outside of your mat and tent your fingers for 3 baby cobras. Inhale to roll up. Exhale to go down. Inhale to roll up. You can stretch your arms a little bit more every time. Exhale to go down. Inhale to roll up and stay. Bring your hands beside your ribs. Tuck your toes under and start stretching your elbows until you find yourself in a downward facing dog. Great, everyone. Look to the front of your mat, come onto your toes and hop, step, or walk all the way front and roll all the way up. Last time, inhale to reach up, come onto your toes. Exhale to hinge at your hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, put your hands down, hop, step, or walk to Chaturanga Dandasana or all the way down. Upward facing dog or baby cobra. Downward facing dog. Inhale to reach your right leg up towards the ceiling. And come back down. Inhale to the left to reach the left. Exhale, come back down. Take tiny little steps to the front of your mat and roll all the way up. Inhale to reach your arms up to the ceiling. Come onto your tippy toes. Exhale to bring your heels down, bend at your knees, sit your hips low for Utkatasana, chair pose. A few breaths in here. But can you look down and try to pick at your toes? And lift your toes off the ground a little bit. And also gently rock from your toes to your heels. Rolling in the deep. No, just kidding. But yes, we are rolling. Maybe allow your toes to come off the ground a lot. And the next time you're on your tippy toes, keep your heels lifted. Sit a little bit lower all the way until you are on a sitting heels up squat kind of thing. And bring your arms onto your chest. A full inhale in here. And on your exhale, bring your hands down, stretch your legs for a forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale to put your hands down, take a big step back with your back foot and roll up into a warrior two. Take a nice couple of breaths in here. Find the strength on your feet. Do pick at your toes and make sure that they're not crunching. Your eyes on your front index finger. On your next inhale, lift your left heel off the ground and press it back down. Inhale to lift your heel. Exhale to press. Inhale to lift. Exhale to press. Reverse your warrior on an inhale. And on your exhale, windmill your arms down to the ground. Frame your front foot. An inhale to reach your left hand up towards the ceiling. And an exhale to come back down. Tap your right knee down and let your left knee open wide to the side for a little bit of a lizard pose. Opening those hips. Come back through center and walk your front foot to the center of your mat. Sit your hips low on the ground. Adjust your stance and reach your left hand up to the ceiling. Actually, let's reach as we lift our hips on an inhale. And on your exhale, you're down. Inhale to reach, feel the stretch on the outer thigh. Exhale down. Inhale to reach. And exhale to bend your lower knee, retract it, and just sit on your bum. You have your left knee on top of your right. For this one, for today, let's try to keep both feet super flexed and trying to have a more of a square shape as opposed to a pointy shape. Yeah. Inhale to lengthen your back and exhale to hinge forward. You can walk your hands forward. Just a couple more breaths in here. Do send your breath to those hips. Let them open. And once you had enough, come back to your seated position. Bring your hands to the front of your mat. Step into your downward facing dog. Inhale to flow to your plank. Exhale to lower you all the way down or chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Reach your left leg up to the ceiling on an inhale and lower down on an exhale. Inhale to reach your right up. Exhale to come down. Take tiny little steps to the front of your mat and roll all the way up to standing. Inhale to reach your arms up to the ceiling. Exhale to sit up with a tippy toe. Exhale to sit your hips low for chair pose on the other side. Couple of breaths in here. Okay, you sit a little bit lower. And when you're ready, start rocking from your heels to your toes, also very gently. Every time you go towards your heels, perhaps sit your hips a little bit lower. Going into a higher rise every time. Next time you're on your toes, stay there and keep bending at your knees and your hips until you are all the way sitting on your heels. Bring your hands into your chest. This is a tiptoe balance. Lengthen your spine. And on your next exhale, bring your hands down, stretch your knees for a forward fold. Inhale to find a halfway lift. Exhale, take a big step back with your left leg and come up into a warrior two. Once again, finding the strength on your feet, noticing what they're doing. Are you crunching your toes? Do relax your tailbone so that you can go farther, deeper down onto your front leg. On your inhale, lift your front heel up. And on your exhale, coming down, bring it down. English. Inhale to lift your heel. Exhale to bring it down. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Reverse your warrior on an inhale. And on your exhale, windmill your arms down to frame your foot on the mat. Tap your back knee down. And heel toe your front foot to let your knee drop to the side. Oh yeah, that's true. I forgot the other one. Thank you, Andre. Reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. And come down. See, I knew I'd forgotten something. Relax the top of that hip. Take any movements that you need in here. And on your next exhale, bring everything back to center, hugging your knee towards your center and walking that front foot to the center of your mat. Sit on the side of your hip. Reach your right arm up to the ceiling and your hips off to the ground on an inhale. And on your exhale, come down. Inhale to reach. Exhale, come down. Inhale to reach. Bend your bottom knee inwards towards your body and sit. This time you have your right leg on top of your left. I'm just going to turn around too so you can see it. Take an inhale to lengthen your spine. And on your exhale, hinge at your hips. You can walk your hands to the front. We're holding here for a couple of breaths. On your next inhale, come back up, bring your hands to the front of your mat. And this time, find yourself on a yogi squat, malasana. Spread your feet to your mat with distance and sit your hips low, bringing your hands onto your chest. You can be as high or as low as you want to. And either stay here or engage your pelvic floor, engage your lower abs, and lift your heels and lower them. Add your own timing, lifting and lowering your heels. Do leverage if your elbows are in touch with your knees, leverage of pressing against one another. Next time you're in your tippy toes, no, I lie, do come down onto your heels and stretch your legs until you are standing. Bring your hands to the side, walk your feet in together. Inhale to reach your arms up to the ceiling. Exhale to hinge at your hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, find your version of a flow. Add your own timing. Meet me on a downward facing dog. Walk your feet and your hands to the center of your mat and roll all the way up to standing. Bring your hands onto your hips and lift your right knee up to your chest. Give it a couple of circles, bringing your knee out to the side and then down, knee up, side and down. And on the third time, find your tree pose, bringing the sole of your foot on the inside of your supporting leg, either on your thigh, on your calf, on your on the floor. And you can keep your hands on your hip or bring it to the heart center. Couple of breaths in here. Now listen carefully. On your inhale, reach your arms up to the ceiling. And on your exhale, find your chair pose. Keep your right leg where it is. Find a chair pose. And then with hands or without, overcross your right leg on top of your left and continue going down onto your chair. You can keep your hands where they are or reach for the ground until you find that heel of the ground, tiptoe balance position. You want to have, just like at the beginning, your shin parallel to your chest. And if you feel ready, you can let go of your hands on the floor. Option to roll onto your back when you fall and come back in and try again. And just experiment with that. And see if at some point you can stay there. If you've had enough, just eventually roll all the way up to standing when you are ready. Inhale to reach your arms up to the ceiling and bring them to your hip. A couple of circles with your left leg, 3 circles. Try to keep your hips from opening. And on your third circle, find your 3 pose. Try not to bring your foot beside your knee because the knee doesn't like going sideways. You can bring your hands onto your chest. Close your eyes if that is available to you. On your next inhale, reach your arms up to the ceiling and start sitting on your chair, on your supporting leg. Pike your hips out. Whenever you're ready, cross your left leg on top of your right. Do make sure that your knee is pointing outwards as opposed to towards the ceiling, and continue going down until you find your tiptoe balance position. Let go of the floor if you feel ready, if you feel strong. And be always prepared to roll down if needed. Or roll back, I guess. Once you had enough, come with your feet together and roll all the way up to standing. Shake it out, shake your legs. Give yourself a nice little pat on your legs, on your hips, and step to the front of your mat. Inhale to reach your arms up to the ceiling. Exhale to hinge at your hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to find your own flow. Put your hands down, hop, step, or walk all the way down, or to Chaturanga Dandasana. And you know the drill. Meet me eventually on your downward facing dog. Bring both knees just behind both of your wrists and sit your hips onto your heels. Walk your hands behind you, and on an inhale, lift your hips up towards the ceiling. And on your exhale, just keep on sitting them down on your heels. You can stay here for a reclined hero or go all the way down onto your forearms and elbows, or all the way down into the ground. A few breaths in here. When you're ready, tuck your chin into your chest if you're all the way down, and come out of your hero pose. Bring your hands to the front of your mat, hike your hips up, and step into your down dog. On your next inhale, reach your right leg up towards the ceiling. And on your exhale, bring your knee behind your right wrist for pigeon pose. Check that your back leg is on a parallel position, almost on an internal rotation. And just before we go down to the ground, give yourself a nice little massage onto the insole of your foot, because it did a lot today. It did a lot for you today. Just a little massage on your arches. Once you had enough of that, you can stay up or lower all the way down to the ground. On your next inhale, come out of your pigeon, tuck your back toes under, and press into your downward facing dog. Inhale to reach your left leg up towards the ceiling, and exhale to find your pigeon on the other side. Give yourself a nice little massage on your arches. You can stay here or lower all the way down for a few breaths in pigeon. When you're ready, come out of it. Tuck your back toes under and press into your downward facing dog. You can stay here or join me for the last flow of the day very slowly. Inhale to roll into your plank. A full exhale for Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. I'm bringing my mat with you. Tap your knees onto the ground. Sit your hips to the side and swing your legs forward. Scooch over onto the center of your mat. And as slowly as you can, I'm not going to give you extra work. Just roll all the way down to the ground. Shake your legs, swing your legs from side to side. Just releasing a little bit of those hips. Reach your arms overhead on an inhale. And on your exhale, bring your knees into your chest. Inhale to open your arms wide to the side. And on your exhale, knock your knees towards your right. For a twist. If you prefer any other kind of twist, please go for it. Let your body soften. On your next inhale, bring your knees back to center. Kick your heels towards the ceiling and just give it a nice little wiggle. Shake your feet, shake your legs. I wish I had shorts on because I like to see my skin wiggle. It's funny. And bring your knees back into your chest. Give them a nice little hug. Inhale to open your arms wide and exhale to knock your knees to the left. Notice the shapes that your body chooses to do when you are relaxing and how are they different on the other side. On your next inhale, come back to center with your feet on the ground and open your feet mat width distance. Knock your knees together. Bring one hand into your heart and one hand into your belly. Close your eyes if it's available to you. Take one inhale, that's all yours. And let it all go. Inhale into your belly, into your ribs, and into your heart. Open your mouth and sigh. Inhale, fill your belly. your ribs, and your heart. Flutter your lips. Inhale into your belly, ribs, and heart. Lion's breath. Extend your hands wide onto the side, and two options. If you have a wall available, just scooch over to your wall and bring your feet onto your wall, or just simply stretch your legs into Shavasana for your final resting pose. If you don't have a wall, maybe a couch, a bed, a chair, it also works great. Close your eyes if you can. Once again, notice what the shapes your body is choosing to make. Let go over the control of your breath. But keep your ears open to the sounds around you. Keep your sense open to what is happening in your body. Do you feel, if you have your feet up, do you feel the blood just slowly leaving your toes? Perhaps your lower back feels heavy on your sacrum, but there is a little bit of a curve on your lower back that's not touching the ground. Are your fingers curled in? Are you clenching your jaw? Separate your tongue from the roof of your mouth. And just let your body relax completely. Today's card, it's about strength, and it reads, you are hereby declared a strong, resilient warrior of heroic proportions. Enjoy your battles, whatever they are, because you're guaranteed to come through them stronger, brighter, and more compassionate. And based on what I know of mythology, probably with gray hair and a six-pack. Thank you all for letting me guide your practice. Please stay here as long as you want. Okay, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Namaste.